Good morning. This is Monday morning, the 31st of July. And we have left the town of Visby, but now we were on the coast, the upper western coast of Gotland Island. And we see there's a few campers along here. Some of these campers have a neat little van and the lid raises up. We'll see what exists here along the coast. Looks like there's a number of seabirds down here, but we'll get closer. Okay, here's what the actual shoreline looks like here. It has an abundance of sand and also some sort of seaweed that's collected along the coast. A few, not a lot, but a few white waves. The Baltic Sea looks very, very large here. Time to get your feet sandy. Very interesting plants that grow here. Different types of grasses. This is all sand I'm standing on now, but I would call some of this clover, but I don't know what it is. Interesting coastline. Interesting seaweed has really been washed up here. I see there's a clearer spot further down. Here it looks like the tide is receding some because it's left the brown seaweed up here. Looks like we have some seabirds and a duck or two in the water. Guess they're waiting around for some fish to come by. The duck is providing us a little bit of motion in this scene. The magic and the power of these small waves here on the Baltic. This appears to be a little stand and flag identifying where there's a small rowboat. I suspect to be utilized if somebody's in trouble out in the water. As there's also a inner tube on that particular post. And then we have a jogger as well, running in the firm sand real close to the water. This is a pretty secluded area, even though we counted about 10 little campers. Okay, we have driven north on Gotland Island up to the town, looks like Bunge, B-U-N-G-E, and here we have a Viking village. Of course, first you have to have your coffee and saffron pancakes. This is a very rustic looking fence here. Looks like the main part of the village is on the other side of the highway here. Looks like a young employee. Here's a map of the village, quite large. That white lettering is going to be hard to read, maybe.
There's a map. Map. Well, it's that way. This ain't it.
Santa has placed 5 modern objects, all marked with Fin Fem Fel Formal in some of the buildings. Can you find them?
You may have realized when I took a picture of that game, we are now in the Viking village, which we're going to be able to tour. Looks like there's some picture stones, or those are mostly picture stones, I guess, of Viking stones. Here's a beautiful thatched hut. The entrance. This is the other side of the entrance. And looks like those rock piles over there could be burial grounds. But this is a very unique fence. Yes, I was right about the rock piles are actually graves. Let you pause that to read it. And don't be confused by this church tower back there. That happens to be part of the town of Bunge. This is the inside of the first building. See some of their own tools. It happens to be a barn.
Or if this is how they climbed up into the rafters back
Hanging some stuff here.
Obviously,
But you're right, they could definitely climb.
Yeah.
This barn was built in 1621.
All over the place.
Well, yeah. Oh, duh. That's probably part of hanging the tobacco. Well, no. Probably part of the ladder. Kevin, that's probably
I mean, it makes sense that it's an easy ladder.
right. I don't see the tobacco grind racks, like what I've seen before.
Here on this map you can see where we're at. Bunge Museum, Museet. It was founded in 1907.
Doesn't matter.
More buildings in the Viking village. Looks like there's a pagan cross here. Very high.
grinding wheel that you could turn and sharpen your axe on.
Nice little garden. Let me get a shot at the grinding wheel.
Yeah.
Manual operated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sure a number of you folks are familiar with the grinding wheel for sharpening knives and axes, and this one is very basic. Notice the pieces of branches that are used to keep it together, using a big fork in the tree. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice. These are just a little touch. But you can, like, I guess, pop the.
Here's an excellent extra room attached to this big house. And again, it's a small bed. Nice table though, by the window. Oh, in fact, this is called a guest room, used as a bridal suite or a funeral parlor.
All important stuff.
Or a funeral parlor. But it's got its own separate fireplace.
Painted cabinet here. That's rather attractive.
That is definitely a rough looking cabinet.
But it's painted. It's very pretty. Brewery, a lot of casks and things. Interesting.
A Viking brewery. Well, they probably enjoyed their drinks. It's a little dark in here. I guess the grapes were put into the big bucket there and then spread out on top here. Okay, this is where the meat and fish was stored at. Oh, nice sausage. I guess the big barrels for the fish.
You find anything?
Here's another look at the grass root. Not too sure what the purpose of the sticks are. Unless it's to help with snow removal. Very nice one trunk water trough. Guess they could have used this to pile their hay in to bring it in from the field. And looks like this is a good old-fashioned sled. Don't know if it would have been for pulling with by horses. Probably was. There's a yoke for the oxen. And there's where they ate the hay from, the bottom. Looks nice and clean in here though. Now, materials to keep it clean. Nice little cart.
It looks like they're all roosters though. I'm not sure they get many eggs.
Looks like the chicken house further back there, with the ramp going to the roosting place. It's a horse stable. Similar construction with the stalls and a feeding trough. And a lot of harness equipment. Again, equipment to clean out the horse stable. Really some great old harness. Entranceway to the loft where they, of course, stored the extra supply of hay. Up high. That's what the ladder is for, of course, to get up there. Well, I'm sure you can guess what this is. Something from the medieval ages that the Vikings had to use too.
Shame was outside the parish church and was used as a man's punishment for disobedient men and women. Hands and feet were locked and they had to sit here while worship was held. Well, it was abolished in 1864. But you know what? I think people could also
Now this one's not made out of wood,
laundry day.
obviously.
It's laundry day, I can tell. This big star. This must have been the laundry. Wow. Little tubs. Thing for heating up your irons. I think if I'd lived in this time, I would have been a laundress.
Yeah.
I would have enjoyed that.
This must have been a common laundry facility. As we can see, a wash tub over there. A place to heat up the iron. Okay, we've now progressed to the 18th century. Be sure and pause so you can read all the words here. Okay, let's check this one item here. See what it was used for, if there's an English translation. No, I'm not too sure. I have to do a translation on Skusta. Okay, here you go. Here's something you haven't seen yet in our videos. This is actually a windmill. Most of the others I've seen have been up on stilts to maybe be as high as 20 feet off the ground. But this is set up here for real close to the ground. Now, speaking of windmills though, here's a much larger design that I'll walk to here so you can see it. Of course, this is from the 1800s, not the Viking age. Looks like it could use some repair, but I'm sure they don't want to use it at all. I'm sure that was a very efficient windmill.
Hey, hey. Don't get stuck playing the maypole game there. The boys got really aggressive, so don't even get started.
It's fun.
Okay.
It's super fun.
Nice brick wall. This is a boatman's house. Really a nice brick wall here. Let's go see what's inside the boatman's house. Okay, this is the inside of the boatman's house.
Oh, it's starting to rain.
Yes, it is.
That's too bad.
Now, notice the bed is a little bit larger than the ones in the Viking age. I don't know if that's a pull-out bed there or not, but another great fireplace. Small and compact. A fan to keep the fire going. A very, very nice cabinet. And again, another fireplace. This must have been the main kitchen area. A nice window for the kitchen. And another nice bed in the kitchen. See, this is where all the plates were stored at. Could have been. Okay, we have boarded our boat to leave Visby and head back to the mainland. You can see there's my family here getting ready. Thank you. Looks not very full. In fact, it's pretty empty today. This is the front lounge area. Okay, if you can hear me, we are leaving Visby, Gotland. The wind is pretty vicious out here. And here is a view of Visby, receding in the east as we're traveling to the west to reach the mainland of Sweden. What a lovely, lovely place to visit. This is the aft of the ship, the ferry, and notice what we have down here. There's no roof for the vehicles. There's two big semis right there in the middle, the last things to get on board, and then the others are campers on both sides of the semis. Of course, the black thing you see there is the ramp itself that you have to drive up on. But more importantly, we're leaving Visby. Visby, Gotland is really a place to visit. Beautiful Baltic. You might notice that there's a little bit of blue sky up there, but heading west now, we have a sun. It's really phased out by the clouds.